Hello, I'm Jessica, a 30-year-old woman. I want to share a recent experience that helped me through a tough time with my husband and his family. This happened a few months ago, and even though things have calmed down, I'm still working through the emotions. I think talking about it might help me heal. Let's go back 3 years when I made a big decision, marrying my boyfriend Tyler. We met through friends and had 3 great years together before getting married. Tyler was fun, caring, and loving. He came from a wealthy family and had a good job, so he often bought me gifts and showed me affection. We both loved to travel, which made our bond stronger. As we got more serious, my friends were happy for us and praised Tyler. Tyler was very generous, sometimes too much. For example, he bought me a new laptop when I graduated college. I felt uneasy about not being able to spend as much as he did. I'd say, "Tyler, I'm just a college student. I can't match your spending. Let's try to split other costs at least." But Tyler would insist on treating me, saying his friends did the same for their partners. Over time, I got used to it but still tried to contribute as much as I could. After I got a good job, we started sharing expenses more equally and even talked about moving in together. One day, Tyler suggested, "You can move in with me. I inherited my house from my grandpa, so no worries about rent, but we should split other expenses to keep things fair." Even though I was unsure, he reassured me, and we began living together. We agreed to share the financial responsibilities fairly given our different incomes, and everything was going well until I met Tyler's family. They lived far away, and since Tyler was busy with work, I had to host his parents and sister alone. Tyler warned me they could be judgmental but didn't go into details. He suggested I ignore any hurtful comments. I tried to stay positive, but my optimism faded when they arrived. Instead of a warm welcome, Tyler's parents and sister seemed annoyed. This set a tense atmosphere. During our conversations, it was clear they didn't like me. "So you're the woman Tyler has been seeing," Tyler's mother, Martha, said disapprovingly. "I didn't expect to find you in this house. Do you even pay rent?" "No, Martha, I don't pay rent," I explained. Tyler said the house is paid for, but we split all other bills evenly. I hoped this would clear things up, but Martha dismissed it. "Just because the house is paid for doesn't mean you can mooch off him. This is his house, not yours. Remember that for the rest of your life." The conversation got more uncomfortable, especially with Tyler's sister, Teresa, who glared at me more than she talked. When I asked about her life, she mentioned being married to a wealthy billionaire and brushed me off. During their visit, Tyler didn't support me and seemed to side with his family. Gabrielle and Martha kept criticizing me, making the visit hard. They disapproved of my spending on makeup and skincare, saying it was wrong since they thought I didn't contribute enough financially. Tyler's comments didn't help. He'd say things like, "Jessica was a struggling student when we first met," implying I depended on him a lot, which wasn't entirely true. He'd mention how he paid for everything early on because my job didn't cover my taste for luxury. I was shocked and reminded him we now split our bills equally. I explained that I had always lived simply, both before and during our relationship. Any luxury items I had were gifts from Tyler, which I often told him not to buy because they were too extravagant. Tyler justified his spending by saying his social status required him to give fancy gifts, showing that his generosity was more about impressing his friends than caring for me. After his family left, I confronted Tyler about how they treated me. Unfortunately, he brushed it off. "Don't take it to heart, Jessica. They meant well. You're overreacting," he said, dismissing my concerns. Despite my doubts, Tyler proposed 5 months later, and I happily accepted. We planned an engagement party and split the costs. I was running a small side business that Tyler knew about but never asked much about. For me, it was more of a fulfilling hobby than a big money maker. When it was time to organize our engagement party, I decided to treat myself a bit, and Tyler supported the idea. We shared the expenses, and I even covered plane tickets for my extended family. However, during the party, the criticisms resurfaced. "You shouldn't have spent so much on this party, Jessica," Martha said. "You're draining Tyler's account before you're even married. At this rate, you'll end up with a backyard wedding. I thought you were financially irresponsible, but it's worse than I thought." I stood my ground, saying the party was extravagant, but we both agreed to it. I paid my share, and it was actually Tyler's idea to include everyone. He insisted and didn't mind the expense. But the criticism continued. Martha accused me of manipulating Tyler into spending too much. Teresa chimed in, saying I should have been more considerate. Frustrated, I excused myself and went to the lawn to find some peace. There, I overheard Teresa and her husband Justin laughing at me. It felt like my engagement party was falling apart, and Tyler seemed unaware of his family's harsh judgments. Most of his extended family thought I was jobless and dependent on Tyler. My mom, noticing my distress, approached me and suggested I reconsider the engagement due to the ongoing mean comments from Tyler's family. After the party, I confronted Tyler about the situation. He brushed it off as a joke and expressed his love, saying financial matters didn't concern him. I told him I wanted to contribute more, especially towards rent, but he dismissed the idea. As we planned the wedding, the stress increased. Tyler's parents continued to criticize me, accusing me of bankrupting their son. Their constant scrutiny made the engagement period very challenging. I made it clear that everyone, including my mom, was helping with the wedding expenses. However, Martha accused me of taking advantage of Tyler and trying to deplete his bank account, branding me a gold digger. I tried to reassure Gabriel, saying, "Gabriel, I'm not asking for any financial help. We can finance the wedding ourselves." But despite my explanations, Teresa criticized the cost of my dress and makeup on the wedding day, even though my mother covered those expenses. The wedding ceremony went smoothly, but at the reception, Martha and Gabriel continued to criticize my spending habits, accusing me of financially exploiting Tyler. Despite their harsh words, I stayed silent to avoid ruining our special day. A few months later, Tyler got a significant promotion at work and wanted to celebrate with a grand family dinner. I was excited for him and decided to cover all the expenses myself. "Tyler, I want this dinner to be extraordinary. I'm so proud of you and want to celebrate your success," I told him. Tyler appreciated my gesture, and I told him my business was doing well. I had a stable income from my job and recently accessed a trust fund from my paternal grandfather. I planned the event meticulously to make it perfect. However, when his family arrived, they were unhappy with the arrangements. Despite positive feedback from other guests, his family seemed to disapprove of the celebration's lavishness. During the speeches, Martha stood up and, with her voice carrying across the room, began criticizing. "I want to thank everyone for coming to celebrate my son. He's hardworking and generous, and he really deserves this promotion. Unfortunately, he made a poor choice in his partner. It's sad that he ended up with someone who acts like a gold digger. I wish he had seen her true nature earlier. Then he wouldn't have to work so hard to support her expensive lifestyle." Martha continued, her voice full of regret. "It's clear to everyone here that his wife has been very extravagant. From the engagement party to tonight's dinner, she has almost drained his accounts." Feeling hurt, I took a deep breath and tried to stay calm. Martha added, "Thank goodness we had Jessica sign a prenuptial agreement before the wedding. At least some of his assets are protected." She seemed relieved, saying it was good her son married someone who could at least look like a trophy wife. Tyler agreed with his mother. "I can't even afford to spend money on myself anymore. There's nothing left," he said. He called marrying me a mistake and compared me unfavorably to others. Shocked and frustrated, I finally spoke up. "Do you really think I'm a gold digger?" Tyler's response was cutting. "Your lifestyle is quite damaging to my bank account." Determined to clear things up, I said, "Since you all think I'm a gold digger, let me show you my bank balance." I revealed my financial independence to everyone present. The room fell silent in disbelief. Martha accused, "Did you steal my son's money?" Tyler added suspiciously, "She must have taken it from you." Frustrated but calm, I replied, "I don't need to steal money from your son. This is all from my efforts. I recently accessed a trust fund from my grandfather. I plan to use it to buy a bigger house for us, but now that seems unlikely." Despite my explanation, Tyler suggested we could still buy the house. "It'll be a wonderful gift," he said, but I was firm. "This is not happening. Your family has insulted me for too long, and you've never stood up for me. Instead, you've let them spread lies about me." Tyler tried to downplay the situation, saying I was overreacting. But I stood my ground. "No, I am not overreacting. Everyone here knows what your family has been calling me. They were here when you allowed them to insult me during our engagement party." Finally, I reached my breaking point. I couldn't tolerate the disrespect anymore. "I want a divorce," I said sternly. Tyler tried to plead with me, but my mom intervened. "You never defended my daughter. It's time she ends this toxic relationship, she declared. We left the party, leaving behind a crowd of shocked guests. I was resolute in my decision to leave Tyler and move on. My mom's support was unwavering as we exited, marking the end of a painful chapter in my life. After the confrontation, I went to our home, gathered my belongings, and stayed with my mom for solace. The next day, I contacted my cousin, who was a lawyer, to start the divorce process. With the prenuptial agreement in place, it was straightforward, so I didn't have to share my assets with Tyler. The situation escalated when Tyler and his family came to my mom's house, demanding to talk. My mom stood firm and told them to leave. Tyler kept trying to contact me, alternating between apologies and threats. I saved all the messages, ready to file a restraining order if needed. My mom's unwavering support gave me strength. Tyler even tried to confront me at work, but security escorted him out. I decided to leave my job, as my growing business meant I no longer needed it. I resigned that day, ready to move forward. A week later, I served Tyler the divorce papers at his workplace. He went to my old office only to find out I had resigned. My former colleague said he kept sending flowers and gifts to my mom's house, which we returned. The harassment made me consider relocating. With my mom's encouragement, I found a new house in the next state, a sanctuary away from my ex. As I awaited the finalization of the divorce, the judge ensured it was smooth thanks to the prenuptial agreement. During the 5 months of our separation, I focused on healing and preparing for a new chapter in my life. I settled into my new home and changed my number to avoid Tyler's messages. I heard Tyler's life was falling apart. He blamed his parents for our breakup and faced setbacks at work. His colleagues distanced themselves, and his seniors were unhappy with the negative publicity. His parents spread infidelity rumors, but they didn't gain traction. In contrast, my life began to flourish. I focused on my business and enjoyed my newfound freedom. I started dating again, cautiously, but remained hopeful about finding someone who truly valued me. Though Tyler caused me pain, overcoming the challenges made me stronger. I looked forward to a brighter future, confident in my resilience and aware of what I wanted in relationships and life.